The 2021 season reviews continue today with the Calgary Flames. And, I kind of bounced back and forth on what I was going to say at the beginning. I was like, well, are they heading towards a rebuild? Or if they don't make any moves that can send them towards the rebuild, can they bounce back in a weak Pacific Division next season? Honestly, I really don't know. But anyways, if you are new to the channel and you haven't already subscribed, please make sure to do that. By the way, welcome Calgary Flames fans to the channel. Hope you like my content. I try my best with it. As we're trying to get to 900 subscribers by the beginning of next season, I would really appreciate that. We're not that far away. Only, I think, 27 subscribers. So, not a lot. But you know what? It may take a little bit, but I think we're going to make it. So, that's really all I have to say for you. And let's get into the review. So this season for the Calgary Flames really wasn't a good one. 56 games played, a 26, 27, and 3 record for 55 points. Obviously under 500 there. And that's a big difference when you look at the past 2 seasons where this team was, I think they were first in their division one year, and then they were, I think, second or third the next 2019-20, and then they took a big step off in the Canadian division this season. They had a 4.91 or a .491, not 4.91, a .491 winning percentage. They had 156 goals scored, 161 goals against. They had a -5 difference, the lowest team that we have looked at so far with the lowest difference. They were 15, 12, and 1 at home, so they were all right at home. And on the road, they really weren't that good, 11, 15, and 2. So, yeah, in all honesty, just not a good season for this Calgary Flames team. And you look at the roster, and you kind of get worried because, look, they have young players, but then again, they don't really. Now, they did fire their coach, Geoff in the middle of the season, hired Darryl Sutter as their interim. I'm not sure if they're going to hire another one. I haven't heard any reports saying that he's going to stay. I'm not exactly sure, though. But just personally, I just look at this and I say it really wasn't a good season. On the skating side of things, though, how did the forwards do? Or, every player on the team? And honestly, their value has kind of dramatically shifted. Johnny Gaudreau led the team this season with 19 goals, 30 assists for 49 points. And I also like to say there's no 20 goal scorers on this team. You had 2 19 goal scorers, but you had no 20 goal scorers. So that is a little bit concerning when you look at the good guys like Gaudreau and Monahan and Tkachuk. It does get a bit concerning. Elias Lindholm was second place with the team with 19 goals, 28 assists for 47 points. He had an alright season. Matthew Tkachuk was third place. We've discussed Tkachuk on the channel before. 16 goals, 27 assists for 43 points. Really, in all honesty, just not good up to his standards, but not terrible at the same time because he was out a couple games. And then here's a forward who I really thought did take a big step up. If there's any positivity within the Calgary Flames right now, it's definitely Andrew Mangiapane. Mangiapane took a big step up, having 18 goals, 14 assists for 32 points. When you look at a guy like him, an underrated, kind of not really known player throughout the NHL in Calgary, you look at those 18 goals and you say to yourself, okay, so on pace in a full 82-game season, that's almost 30 goals. Yeah, almost 30 goals. That's crazy, honestly. That's impressive at that. And I think for a guy like him who's, not really well known, I think he could become one of the dangerously underrated players. And he kind of is, one of those guys leading the Flames into whatever they're leading them into. Mikael Backlund was 5th place on the team in scoring with 9 goals, 23 assists for 32 points. Backlund's not the same that he used to be. Obviously, we all know that. But, yeah, generally, apart from Andrew Mangiapane, there really isn't anything to look at and say that, yeah, they had a great season. It was kind of a down year all around for Calgary in general. That's just how I see it. Moving on to the rookies column now. The only rookie that was really of note was defenseman Juuso Valimaki, who had 2 goals, 9 assists for 11 points this season. All right, it's not too bad. Being a defenseman, you're not expected to get, Johnny Gaudreau numbers like he did this season. I'd say 11 points is pretty good for, a solid defender who kind of really proved himself as one of those top guys in Calgary that you might want to reconsider. Yeah. On the goaltending side of things, you have Jacob Markstrom being your starting goaltender, 22, 19, and 2, with a 2.68 goals against average and a .904 save percentage. That's not bad. In all honesty, I think that's pretty good. Being acquired in free agency from Vancouver, I mean, I'd say he came in and played okay, not to Jacob Markstrom standards that he had in Vancouver, but I still think he was all right in general, to be entirely honest with you. Then you have David Rittich. I put David Rittich in here because he was the next backup guy. I didn't put in his stats with Toronto, although he barely played. He was 4-7-1 before being traded, but 2.90 goals against average and a .904 save percentage. So yeah, I just feel like Rittich was great last season for the Flames, but now, in all honesty, he's kind of just fallen off. In all honesty, and this was a down year for him relatively. I do expect him to bounce back with whatever team he's with. I'm not sure if he's under contract with Toronto. If I'm not mistaken, I think he is. I'm not sure, though. We'll look at that when we get to Toronto. Anyways, that is it for the season review, and we will get into the future, the UFAs and RFAs. And let's just say the Calgary Flames have a hell of a lot of work to do. Brett Ritchie, Buddy Robinson, Josh Leivo, Derek Ryan, Michael Stone, Nikita Nesterov, who went to Europe, Louis Domingue, Zach Rinaldo, and Alex Petrovic throughout the entire system. Those are the guys you need to sign as UFAs. So I'd say probably the most notable players in there are probably Josh Leivo. Derek Ryan could be a notable guy that you may want to sign. Michael Stone, I think you want to maybe throw him a contract. Louis Domingue, if they offer him a deal, I wouldn't be surprised, but Domingue pretty much bounces everywhere, so it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up somewhere else again. Zach Rinaldo, I'm not sure about that. Petrovic, I think he's done. In all honesty, I don't see Petrovic coming back for this Calgary Flames team. If he does get re-signed, whatever, but I just don't see it. Guys like Brett Ritchie and Buddy Robinson, like those guys, I just think that maybe you want to keep those guys for depth, but they didn't really make big roles, and if they even played at all, I'm not sure if they did. They haven't really made that big of roles for this Flames team in the offseason, in all honesty. So I just don't think that they're gonna bring him back. And of course, Nikita Nesterov went back to Europe. He got signed. Some people were pretty hyped up about it because he did look solid in the KHL, but it did not pan out to the NHL. It really didn't. So that's just how I look at it, honestly. But yeah, honestly, they have a lot of work to do on the UFAs. But where it's a bigger problem, though, is the RFAs. Their RFAs consist of Dylan Dubé, Glenn Gaudin, Oliver Kylington, Juuso Valimaki, Connor Mackey, Dominic Simone, Justin Kirkland, Matthew Phillips, Luke Phillip, Carl Johan Lerby, Colton Pullman, Tyler Parsons, sorry about that, and Artyom Zagidulin. Sorry if I butchered that last name. Yeah, that is a lot of guys. I'd say Dylan Dubé as an RFA, I think they would bring him back. Gaudin, I'm not sure that's up to the minor leagues. Oscar Kylington, I think you do bring him back. He was pretty good, but there is a chance that he gets claimed by Seattle. Juuso Valimaki, like I said, he was a rookie this season. I thought he played fairly solid, to be in all honesty. I think he should get a job. Mackey, I'm not too sure about that. Dominic Simone, bring him back for depth. Why not? Justin Kirkland, I don't really know. I'm bouncing back and forth on that. Matthew Phillips, I don't know. Luke Phillip, I don't know. Carl Johan Lerby, I've never heard of him, so that's up to management. Colton Pullman, I bouncing back and forth on whether you should keep him. I thought He was okay in the minors. You definitely keep Tyler Parsons, though. As a goalie, I think you should keep him. And Artyom Zagidulin, why not? Why not keep him? He has a cool name. Why not? So that's the RFAs. And, like, really, in all honesty, they have a lot of work they got to do. Like, there isn't a lot of big name players. I'd say the biggest name in the RFAs and, like, the UFAs alone is probably Valimaki and Dubé, and then Derek Ryan and Josh Levo on the top. Like, there really isn't that big of deal, big name players. If they just let all these guys walk, I wouldn't be surprised. But they'll keep some of them. But, like, in all honesty, like, there isn't really that many big names, but they have a lot of work they got to do. And, whether this team goes to a rebuild or not. And we've discussed before with Matthew Tkachuk, and if he gets traded out of Calgary, where would he go? I said, like, St. Louis, Ottawa, Los Angeles. I said a lot of options. Do they try and deal him? That's kind of that's what I'm questioning because they're confusing with me because I feel like if they don't make any moves at all and they just stay like the same team, in my opinion, I feel like they probably would make the playoffs next year. Would they make it far? No, but I think they still would. Because it's a weak Pacific Division with a lot of teams that are going to be, kind of still rebuilding a little bit. Like you have Vegas, who's obviously going to make it. You have the Edmonton Oilers, who are like the two teams that are basically like, yeah, they're going to make it. You have the Kings, who are on the rise. The Ducks are on the rise. You have the Sharks, who are kind of falling. You have a lot of things in here, and then you have Vancouver as well. Like, they're probably going to bounce back and make the playoffs. I just feel like the Flames are going to bounce back. That's just what I think. I feel like they are, in all honesty. You can prove me wrong on that next season, but I just look at their team and I look at their roster and I say to myself, well, if these guys have bounce back seasons and all these guys play consistently and obviously well, they can. I do think that they would be able to, but that's not up to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below and what you guys think the Calgary Flames will do in the offseason and before we do our 2021 previews in a couple of months. So thank y'all for watching. For all your support as of late, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for me. We'll move on to I think it's Chicago that's next in the 2021 reviews, and then we'll keep going from there. So we got some draft videos coming up, prospect previews, some fun videos. So thank y'all for watching, for all your support as of late, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.